I am here today at the Duke New 42nd Street Studios, which is a rehearsal space for musicals. And I'm here with Mr. J Simeone. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people. Watching in the dark.
I'm going to take a seat here. I have actually bailed Joe up in his lunch break, in his day gig, which is working on Broadway. He is a singer, dancer, and actor in Broadway musicals, and currently in rehearsal for the new musical Little Dancer, based on the Dugas story. So say hello, J Simeone.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
And tell us a little bit about this new musical.
It's a new musical composed by the Lynn Ahrens team, who did Ragtime and a number of other big Broadway hits. Susan Stroman is directing and choreographing. And the piece is about Dugas' sculpture of the Little Dancer, which I'm sure you know, posed in fourth position. And it's a work of art that not only encapsulates the innocence and transition of this young girl from to a woman, but it also has the innocence of the ballet, but also the sort of scandalous backstage life that was going on, you know, them sort of prostituting out the ballerinas and things like that. So Dugas' piece had that duality in it, and Paris rejected it when it was first shown at an exhibition, and of course wanted to see his paintings and sketches of ballerinas and washerwomen and things like that. But they rejected it so much that they fired the Little Dancer that he had come to know as a daughter while he was making the project, and fired from the Paris Opera Ballet. And so the story sort of traces from meeting Dugas, him going blind, making the piece, her being kicked out of the Paris Opera Ballet, and then ultimately leaves it open to the viewer to decide what happens to her at the end of her life.
Wonderful. That's his day gig.
That's the day gig.
That's the day gig. Okay, so I actually met Joe in my last stint, my last 3 years in New York City. And one of the things that I was involved in was composing, working as a lyricist composer for the off-Broadway musical Cougar. And so I met Joseph as a fellow composer.
Yes.
He is a very interesting composer and lyricist.
Thank you.
He did a double degree at Juilliard. He did dancing and composing, and he is working on a couple of really very interesting projects, one of which is the adaptation of the play Dial M for Murder. So tell us briefly about that, Joe.
Absolutely. So I, as a young, ambitious child 7 years ago, I wrote to the widow Anne Knott, of the author Frederick Knott of the play Dial M for Murder, and acquired the rights to develop the work into a musical adaptation, which has taken many mutations and forms. It's been in development, but we're ready to do a workshop, first full workshop. We've done one partial workshop, with some opera singers from the Met and a great director that I absolutely love. And so we're really cooking on that piece. I was very fortunate in Dancing in West Side Story on Broadway to meet and befriend Arthur Lawrence, who wrote the piece. And he and I started working on another musical together, but gave me some invaluable advice about Dial M, and has led to its rebirth as a 90-minute one-act opera / musical. It kind of blurs the lines between the two genres, and so it's creeping slowly forward. But these, you know, things take a lot of time and a lot of years, and are sort of sluggish sometimes.
But it's a very interesting piece. Yeah. We work very differently as composers, because I'm just all about the song, but this is an opera. Which is,
the story,
wow,
yeah, and that was where Arthur really came in handy, is saying, you know, what to musicalize and what to leave as dialogue, to be as efficient as possible with the material, and to sort of improve upon flaws that are inherent with the original play, which, as it takes place in 1957, there's a lot of gender discrimination against the main female character that sort of leads to problems in the play. But fixed all of those with musical adaptation.
Fixed all of those.
Fixed all of those.
Well, so that's what Joe is doing as a performer and as a composer. Exactly. But what I really wanted to show you, not many people know that this man is an extraordinary painter. And this is one of the things that I'm really excited about. So I want to show you his paintings. So he specializes in, well, he only paints other artists. So just tell us about that.
I began with other artists that I was working with and knowing, and asking them to pose. And then I was at an art show in the Hamptons and met a gallerist out there that looked at my work and really loved it. So I started exhibiting with her in Boston at the Elizabeth Clement Fine Art Gallery. And most of the work just caught on. I sold a piece to the Getty, which is the piece that you see with the gold, the Midas washing.
Midas washing is the piece.
Yeah, so I sold that piece to the Getty, and then this hotel in Turkey, the Beruk Esfan, I will not pronounce that. We have to edit that out. I can't pronounce it. But this hotel, a Swiss hotel chain in Turkey, bought the Superman smoking. And then after that, I've just had like some private collectors in New York. I've been lucky enough to get into some Douglas Elliman collection and some other prestigious places in New York, which is great, and show at Lincoln Center some of my work. And I have another show coming up in December at Art Basel in Miami.
But
so
is it true that the people who know you as a Broadway worker and as a composer have no idea that you paint?
No, I try to keep everything very kind of quiet because,
because it's quite intimidating to be that good at a lot of things.
No, that's not it at all. I don't think that's it at all. For me, it's because I feel like no matter what you're doing, you have to give 100% to that. And I feel like if people think, oh, he's composing this or he's working on a painting here, that I'll look divided in focus, and I don't want to do that. So we'll keep this interview to ourselves over there, shall we?
Yeah.
Anyway. So I don't want to look divided in focus, so I have to kind of keep focused.
Now I just want to ask you one more thing, and why did you decide only to paint other artists?
As I was saying before, it sort of happened as a fluke, but then I sort of realized as I attempted to paint non-artists for commissions and things like that, there's just no...
what speaks to you about the artist?
There's some otherness a lot of times about artists and with artists, and they have the ability to channel something really special, and I think that that's sort of what begins to bring people into the arts to begin with, is whether they have that ability. And I find that a lot of artists, they have something extra special about them that's more interesting to paint. It's like Degas says in the not that I'm comparing myself by any stretch of imagination, in the play that we're working on, there's a certain lightness and ephemeral sort of quality to these people that is sort of extraordinary, and what we're trying to paint is something very difficult, not something very easy, but something about these people that sort of is captured in this work.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm so glad I got this opportunity to spend 5 minutes with you in your lunch break.
No, you're so sweet.
Tell us your website.
Oh, it's my name. It's very easy. josephjsimeone.com, and you can go on there and see paintings and hear some music.
I'll put that link up for you.
Great.
Yes.
That would be great.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
so sweet.
you,
Thank you
Joe.
so much.
I'll see you next time I'm in New York City.
Absolutely.